This is my wife pregnant with our fourth child, and this is me with the fourth child. Now, I've been married about 7 years, and this is my wife right here. As you can see, she's quite a bit shorter than me, and this is because she's a double amputee. She was born with a birth defect, and her legs were cut off early on in her age, and she grew up with a WMT. You know, she grew up in a wheelchair and so forth. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is it like to be married to a disabled person or handicapped person? And quite frankly, I don't look upon my wife as someone who's disabled or handicapped. I just look upon my wife as just a wonderful woman. She has truly been a rock in my life. I believe very strongly that I'm a much better person as a result of her, not only spiritually, physically, but also mentally as well. And here are some photos of our babies. Our first two boys are twins, and we had two boys thereafter. And here we are just having a great time at a picnic and so forth. Now, are there concessions that I have to make? Sure. I have to make sure that things are within arm's reach of her when she cooks in the kitchen. And I do all the driving right now. Although she is desiring to drive, we're taking steps forward in doing that. But other than that, I have really noticed anything off the top of my head of her being any different than anybody else. And she is a wonderful wife, a wonderful mother, a wonderful Christian woman. And there's an early photograph of her in our marriage. And this is right after we had our twin boys as well. And we have just had a lot of fun on this journey of our life together as we're approaching our 7th anniversary. Now, I was quite surprised. My wife posed the question. She has her own channels of how many of you would be willing to be date or marry a handicapped person. And I was quite surprised that a lot of people said that they would not. And like I said, I haven't really noticed anything. It hasn't been a burden in our marriage at all. And even when I first met my wife, I didn't really notice that she was a double amputee. I just noticed she was walking around with a cane. I didn't know if she had a bad back or bad knee or bad ankle, but I just got to know her personally, and I was very attracted to her. And we just hit it off early on. And I noticed early on, I was really enthralled with her, and I knew right off the bat that I wanted to marry her someday. And I ended up proposing to her about 4 months after. And and after I proposed to her, after she communicated to her family, she's from the southern region of Africa, which is Botswana. After she communicated the great news with her family, that they told her that she had to respect the birthright, not the birthright, but the bride price, where I would have to pay 8 cows. And so that's been an interesting journey. Just not only marrying a woman who is supposedly handicapped, but also a woman of another culture and a very different culture. But here we are, just out shopping together. And there's nothing wrong with her right now. She's just rolling around in her wheelchair. She's going in the store. She's shopping. And I just really don't notice. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that makes her any different than anybody else. And in my eyes, she is much better than everybody else that I've met. She has just been a wonderful soulmate for me. And here we are at the car. She's getting in on the passenger side, but someday, hopefully, she'll get in on the driver's side, and I'll be the one riding from time to time, although I do like to drive quite a bit. But she has been a homemaker. She's been a professional woman, and she's a highly educated woman. And if you want to hear more, just follow along for more videos.